absolutely love or you absolutely hate. And I'm not really sure what that is, but you call the pose name out in classes and you either get groans or, sounds of like, oh, we're going to do that pose. So hopefully today I'm going to take you through so many versions of it. You're going to find the version of downward dog that you love because it's a very important pose. One, we're actually getting our head below our heart. So for this pose, the symbolism is that we're integrating both our wisdom and our compassion. And that is just so important in today's climate environment that we're dealing with. It's important in how we deal with other people, and it's also important in how we deal with ourselves. The other great thing about this pose is that we form a triangle. And triangles are a form of energy work where we can manifest what we want within the triangle, within the points. Because a triangle shows creation and destruction and fixed mutable energy on all of its corners. So it has everything in there that we need for manifestation. So what I want to show you today is that first we're going to build a triangle of manifestation. Now again, this is optional if you want to, because we're going to build the triangle of manifestation with our body as well. It's just that using the crystals and some candles, we're kind of layering on that energy. We're telling the universe how important this intention is for us. So let me show you first how to build it. One really easy way is to get selenite sticks. Now selenite sticks are wonderful anyway because you can use them to recharge your crystals, to clean them. You can just sit crystals across selenite sticks, and they're really great for that. But right now we're going to use them to charge up our manifestation abilities. So first we're going to make a triangle out of them right on the ground in front of our mat. So we've just got them as, basically as we can in this triangle shape. And then we're going to take white candles, any kind you want, and we're going to put them at the corners. So we're going to close this up. We're going to make sure that we have this nice, tight seal to our triangle. And then, as you light the candles, you can either start to think about the fact that as we light this candle, we're creating this threefold manifestation triangle or manifestation space. So one thing I like to do when I light them is I like to say out loud, as I light these candles, I create a threefold manifestation space. And I like to say it with each candle. As I light this candle, I create a threefold manifestation space. As I light this candle, I create a threefold manifestation space. So again, we got the candles by our yoga mat, so we're going to be careful, but I think that it's really a great work of energy to create this triangle. Now, if you're not doing yoga, you can create this triangle, and what you're doing for manifestation is you're looking into the middle of this triangle. Remember, we have creation, we have fixed, mutable, like moldable space, and we have destruction. We have all three. So whatever it is you're trying to manifest, bringing in something, taking out something, you're going to envision it right inside this triangle, inside the selenite and the candles. And again, you can do this with or without the pose. We're just layering energy here. After you've taken some time to do that, maybe calm down the breath, do some breath work there. A nice 4 square where you're inhaling to 4, holding that breath for 4, exhaling to 4, holding again for 4 is a great time to do that. So let's do that now. Think of that manifestation. What intention do you want? And then inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can do that 3 times as well. I like to start to, while we have this here, let's start to look at the different versions of this pose so you can find yours and make yourself into a triangle as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from a beginner pose from table. So remember, in table we're taking the hands and we don't want to put the palms straight down. We're going to be working with on our wrists and hands a lot today. So you want to have that kind of little ball. Just shake out the hands, see how it naturally falls on the mat. And we have our shoulders over our wrists and our hips over our knees. And from here, then to get into down dog pose, I'm going to show you the full pose first, and then I'm going to show you different ways to work with it if you can't do this pose. So basically, we're tucking our toes under, and we're going to lift those hips up towards the ceiling and back until our head is down and we're looking between our feet. So you're trying to find a comfortable spot with your heels coming down if you're doing the full pose. Again, looking between the feet, back is nice and straight, hips up and back. Now a lot of people, this is going to be tight for the legs, so you may need to lift those heels up. You may need to step back and give yourself a little bit more space. You may need to bend the knees as well. You can also prop the hands up. So if you want to use blocks, have a nice area here for the hands as well. So we're coming here from table with the blocks, and we're coming up just to a nice bent knee, heels up, pushing back and up again with those hips until we can find a space that's comfortable. Now you can also do this pose with a chair. That's a great way to do it. Now I don't have a chair here today, so I'm going to show you how to do it with just imagine these two bolsters are my chair, or you could use the two bolsters. So another great way to do it is just to come down so that we have this more of a lift from table, and we're coming up and going back again, hips up and back until you can find that comfort where either your heels are up or down and that space that you need to stretch out. From a chair, you may even be up higher, and that's fine to actually, you're still making the triangle, even though it'll feel a little bit more like a square. Just that chair is kind of an extension of your hands. So, when we're doing down dog, there's so many variations and fun ways to play with it. So let's look at a few of those. So one way is, and again, you can do this from anyone. It's going to be probably a little bit more difficult with a chair to do some of these variations. Walking you could do from a chair easily. So let's, again, get back up into down dog, hips up and back. And what we're doing is basically walking the heels. Heel down, one heel up. One heel down, one heel up. We're just walking the legs and stretching out. Now from a chair or any basic pose, you could still do this. The next one will be a little tricky if you're using things other than just blocks, because this is three-legged dog. So from three-legged dog, we're going to take one leg and we're going to put it up into the air. Now this allows us to get a little bit of movement in our down dog, where we can bring the knee in, almost coming towards table again, and taking it back. So it's like a tiger pose and movement. And let's try that on the other side. We're going to raise that leg up, and pull it in, and back, and in, and back. So that's a great way to get a little bit of movement in the pose. And then other variations that we can do. One is dolphin. So from dolphin, what we're doing is we're actually getting a little bit more of a stretch, I think, in the legs, because we're going to come down onto our forearms. So again, we're keeping those elbows, this time over our elbows, our shoulders over our elbows, and we're going to tuck those toes, and we're going to push up. So this puts our head a lot closer to the ground, and again, in this one, I can't get my my heels to touch. So it's fine to keep the feet up. And the last version of it is puppy. So puppy is more of like a combination of downward dog and child's pose. So from puppy, we're going like this as well, but we're keeping the knees where they are and stretching the arms out. So the hips are still up and back. We're still getting kind of the same movement, but now we're really bringing a stretch into the shoulders. And then you're going to come back up and back up to table. So when we're doing this with this manifestation, so if we were going to do the full pose and we have our triangle set up here, what we're going to do is imagine our body is the triangle, and as we set that intention within the triangle we're making with our body, we're going to start to move the energy. So starting from table and finding your version of the pose, whether you like dolphin, puppy, full, you're using chair, it doesn't matter here. You're just finding your version of down dog. So we're going to tuck the toes under, push the hips up and back. Now we're looking in between our feet or right here in the middle, and we've got this triangle with our body. So imagine that the energy from the earth is coming up through the feet, up the legs to the hips, and then from the hips down the back to the head to the hands. And then we're imagining that energy moving from the hands to the feet. And as we keep swirling through these three corners, this threefold energy space, right within this area of your body, you're going to start to, again, imagine that intention. What is it you want to manifest? Start to see it very clearly, whatever it is, in as much detail as you can get into it. Start to watch the breath. Again, you can do the 4 square breath if you want, if you need to calm your breathing here, and really focus in on the manifestation. And then we're going to come down. And from here, as I close what I'm doing, I like to say, and you can just think something along these lines. I will make sure that I quote these lines in the information on the video. But the work done here is now complete. As each flame, I now release. And then you can thank whoever it is, if you work with ancestors or spirit guides, creator, whatever it is that you work with, that you like to thank, the universe, just energy in general, I would do that now. Now when you do down-legged dog, before I let you go, I want to show you like a supine version of it, and then a way to counter it, because we've really worked out our hips in a certain way, and we need to be mindful of that before we just go about our day if we're working this pose. So the first thing I want to show you is if you get on your back, a lot of people call this like a 4 square pose, but it's kind of like a little mini version and helps to counter what we've done of the triangle. So we're making a triangle with our feet. We're going to take the right and put it, we're going to take the left leg, put it over the right knee. And we've made this triangle again here, but now with our legs. So we're countering what we did with the hips, in that we're going to pull this leg in. Now you can reach through here and grab the thigh if you want. Flexing the feet feels really good here. Or if you have a lot of flexibility, you can take this leg out and you can reach up and grab the ankle. You can feel that nice stretch in your back and your hips, that we're kind of countering this pose. And make sure we're doing it on both sides. This time taking that right ankle to the left knee. Again, flexing the feet and bringing it up, either grabbing at the thigh or grabbing at the ankle. that's a little bit easier to kind of counter with the hips, really great for the lower back too, is to bring just the knees into the chest and kind of rock here, kind of massage that lower back, even the adrenal glands. This is really nice for after this pose to kind of stretch yourself out. Okay, well, that's what I have for you today with down dog pose. If you have any questions, you can always put it in the comments. I'll come along and check them at least daily. I just want to thank you for being here with me today, for learning all the variations of down dog pose. I really hope that you found one that you can do. And again, try the chair. I know I did it with a bolster, but that chair is going to give you a little bit more of a lift to do this pose if you're really tight in the hips. And you can either, just put your hands on it. You can put your forearms on the base of the chair. Just get yourself a really nice solid chair there.